Welcome to Breaking Ties, Is Divorce the Answer? This is your go-to source for practical advice and support when considering if a divorce is the right answer for you. Join us each weekday for a quick chat where we'll uncover a variety of topics such as child custody, property division, and self-care. Together, we'll explore the emotional, financial, and legal aspects of divorce and help you find the best path forward for you and your family. Here is your host and Certified Divorce Financial Analyst professional, Mike Fulkerson.
Hello, and welcome back to Breaking Ties, Is Divorce the Answer? I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and Certified Divorce Financial Analyst professional. And we're wrapping up the Mike's Relationship series as I've gotten past a, long-term relationship with my girlfriend kind of thing. And this next one today's is actually pretty exciting. And it's on being in the right headspace, all right? There's a lot of things you're thinking about heading into the divorce process. And on the relationship side of things, it's, you don't want to be with the person you're with. You're ready to move into the divorce process and then becoming you. And what you want to look for, though, is as you're going through this, turn this into bite-sized pieces. It's like, okay, how do I become a better person in the end of this thing than I was currently? So you're going to have to analyze where you're at, what happened, where'd the relationship kind of veer, what could I have done differently? Could I have done anything differently? Sometimes you're at where you're at and you're exactly where you're supposed to be, unfortunately. It's just part of how uncertain future is. And when you get there, you recognize it, and then you're like, all right, we have to shift gears and make a new path, essentially. And when you're going through this process of divorce and stuff, it is kind of like a whole emotional process. There's a lot of emotions that are go through it. I mean, it's sad. It's very sad, especially if you have kids. It's sad. But it's sad even if you don't have kids or you have older kids. It's still sad. And there's nothing wrong with that. Understanding that, the relationship itself was kind of like an individual, and now it's not going to exist kind of thing, because you put a lot of time, effort, and energy in. And you never want to see something fail. I don't think anybody goes into a marriage going, yeah, I'm really looking forward to the divorce that's coming up in about 5 or 6 years. That's not a thing. You don't get into a relationship with anybody, you go thinking like it's not going to last. The whole point of the relationship is for it to last because you're looking for a forever person just to spend time with, talk to, see the world with, whatever it happens to be. And when you get into these things and, you file for the paperwork and you start the divorce process, you're going to want to have a good headspace. And so, you got your friends, you got your journaling. You might need a therapist. A talk therapy does wonders. But really, you want to maintain calm collectiveness for your kids if you have kids and for yourself, because one, yelling and screaming isn't going to get you anywhere. You may not like what's going to take place. It's not likely to change sometimes. So you control you, and that's the most important part. So that way you're in charge and you're working towards getting through this process. And the reason, the real reason is you want to get to the other end and you want to reap the rewards of a better you. So if you can do some of this along the way, that's great. Sometimes you can't process until it's all done with the divorce and stuff. And then you can really get into some serious processing on yourself, past relationships, you going forward, and also relationships going forward. So hopefully shed some light on a few topics and pieces here. It's not easy by any means, not at all. And so when it's all said and done, it takes work, and the good news is you'll be in a better space when it's done. I want to thank you for joining me on this episode of Breaking Ties, Is Divorce the Answer? Should you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to answer. But in the meantime, I hope your day goes well and you take care of yourself.